In the twilight hour, the gavel's down. Hear the tilted lawyer in velvet gown. Whispers of law beneath the moon's sweet glow. He's here to guide you through the undertow. From tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. He'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather, piecing lives only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark.
All right, folks, welcome to another vaunted episode of Family Law After Dark, and congratulations to Una for becoming a new member on the YouTube channel. Much appreciated with that. I hope you enjoy your stay. We got a lot to get to, including a Brad submission. We learned a lot about Brad on our last episode of Flat. We learned that he's a patron of EDM clubs.
Surprisingly, not many, because I only went to like one.
It's all it takes. All it takes is the one time. We learned, we learned a great deal. Not to rehash anything, but he has submitted for our review a family law case where this guy wants to know if he is an asshole for cutting off his wife because she can't stop ordering takeout. Why Brad wanted me to cover this one is anybody's guess, but here we
seemed interesting.
Oh, well, well, here we go. Might as well. Let me just put this up on screen, and I'm pretty sure that's the right one. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So this guy is 41 years old and male. I butchered the intro. I'm supposed to say these are the real candid stories that I hear in my practice, people on the path to divorce or marriage. I get it all. I get the prenups. I get the divorce. I get the, these are the questions. We really get these questions. Yes. Ask Jocelyn, you've been here for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Is it pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Is that kind of how it goes?
Everything you think, and then everything you might not think.
Yeah, we're half lawyer, half therapist.
Yeah.
And we're not qualified for both of those, but here we are. So this person, 41, his wife is 39, says wife doesn't work due to minor disability. Oh, by the way, joined by Bruce from Oregon, the internet superstar.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Retirement. He is quite the commodity. I've heard of at least 3 dating contracts that he's entered into.
Oh my gosh.
That he's asked for my help in
I'm in danger.
Yeah, I try to tell these ladies, hey, he's pregnant with my twins.
Oh boy.
It is of no deterrent to these very eager young ladies. Well, here we are. If you ask Bruce nicely enough, he'd show you his antlers. I don't know what that means. It's just what he said.
That's
Don't
fair.
look at me. So, all right. So his wife has a minor disability. It's not as if she cannot work, but she complains of discomfort and exhaustion all the time. The discussion over her working basically ended 5 years ago, and I have completely given up on the prospect of her ever having a job again. Seeing as she doesn't even come close to qualifying for disability, brings in no income. We currently live entirely off my salary. I don't mind financially supporting her, but my wife's spending habits have gradually become more and more reckless. It began with her ordering takeout twice a week, and then that escalated into 3 times a week, and now she's ordering takeout nearly every day. That's pretty expensive. Are you a regular Uber Eats person or DoorDash or whatever they use?
DoorDash, not so much now, but right after I had my daughter, like those first 3 months, it saved me. I mean, I was able to eat, but it got so expensive. But we also had a lot of gift cards that people gave us as part of the,
Yeah.
like, I guess, baby shower or something, because they knew we were going to need that.
I'll tell you what, I tried to order a large pizza off a reputable pizza vendor like a couple weeks ago, and it was like $84 for a large pizza. Get the F out of here. For what?
Yeah, it's like something that might be like maybe $8 at the place. It
Yeah.
turns into like $25.
Yeah.
So I feel this guy's frustration just off of that understanding. So he says this is all despite our fridge being stocked constantly. I do the shopping and I make sure to even keep our freezer full of things she would only have to microwave. So last month was a particularly heavy one for her. She spent $1,176 on delivery apps alone. That would piss anybody off, I would think. Yeah.
That's a lot of shit. It's
It's only like 6 Ubers or 6 DoorDashes.
At least 12? I don't know how much. Like usually when it's just for me and my wife, we spend 60 to 80 bucks
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
on average.
reasonable.
11, I don't
But
know.
if it's just for one person, like maybe usually like $25, $30.
Even that's a bit. I mean, if it's just for yourself, like it. I mean, I don't know, man. But 1176 is a lot. That's like a half a mortgage payment
Is that
or a
multiple
third
times a
one.
day?
We splurged on Dairy Queen for 2, and that was $24.
Bringing out the big bucks over. I mean, see, that sounds about right though. Those things cost about $10 now, delivery fees and all.
No, that's like $6 or $7 per blizzard. That's like $14.
Yeah.
This is like $40 a day.
Yeah.
So apparently, so we cannot afford this. There are several days that she ordered twice. I may have reacted harshly, but on Friday, I pulled money out of our savings, completely paid off the card, and then canceled it. I then removed all the money from our joint account and funneled it into my own account. So here is my legal response to that. What am I going to say, Eliana, about fiduciary duties and all?
I know.
So apparently my wife learned this when she tried to order takeout. Tried to call the company, who explained the card had been canceled. She texted me asking what had happened. I responded that she was cut off. Yikes. Well, I'm curious what her disability is. Well, then I walked in the door that evening. My wife was lying on the floor dramatically, saying that she had low blood sugar.
Is there food in the house?
I would have a reaction to that. I really would.
Oh no.
If it wasn't like an emergency, like if she wasn't like like it was like my 4-year-old not wanting to go to bed and like all of a sudden her legs don't work and carry me, then that's what it feels like. All right, so I told her she could eat any of the food we have in our fridge or freezer. I also noticed that she took the garbage out properly for the first time in a decade. She took the trash out. I'm surprised she even knew where the outdoor bin was. I can only assume. Hey, do you take the trash out, Eliana?
Not usually. My husband is, I mean, if he's away.
Isn't that like, well, yeah. But even then, my wife will like put it in the garage until I get home and so that I could you know, which I don't mind doing because that shit could be heavy. I don't want her to like throw her back out trying to.
No, I mean, I did it yesterday.
I mean, out of necessity.
Yes, like out of necessity, but it's not really something that I do
We
regularly.
keep the can in the garage, just outside the garage door, so it's easy to just toss the bag in.
Yeah, I mean, or like on the side of the house. It's like
yeah.
a 10-yard walk to the garbage, whatever. So I can only assume she was disposing of the evidence of what she ate. Oh, I see where it's going. As she was pretending to have not eaten, but I honestly don't care enough to dig through the garbage to find it. And if you did, I guess that would be weird, wouldn't it? She was fierce at me all weekend. What I did over the top. I think you guys are both clowns, if you want my honest opinion of it. I think that she is being overly dramatic, and so is he, sort of.
Yeah.
I think that, hey, Brad, you do every Sunday night a show where you are cooking, meal prepping with your wife. And it's like a thing that you all do. And you have like you made a YouTube show out of it, and you have guests, and you guys, there's good conversation and cooking and healthy and all of those things. You meal prep. Wouldn't that just be like the easy solution to their problems?
You would think so, but the thing is if she's ordering $1,200 worth of DoorDash, like, I doubt that she's ordering from Buffalo Wild Wings this every time. So she's probably getting a number of different places, and she might be going to the frozen yogurt place to get her dessert after every meal too.
I'm curious about what the status is of her health. I don't know what her disability is, but it's weird that she's complaining about low blood sugar. I don't know, man. All I'll say is this. Married partners owe each other a duty, a fiduciary duty, to not behave irresponsibly. I'm sure that this is a violation of anything like that. Usually how it comes up is one spouse finds out that the other is cheating and has spent money on hotels and gifts for the other. And then they want all that money back. They want it reimbursed as part of like an equalization payment or something. That's how it comes up the most. Or like if somebody secretly tries to remove their partner's name off the mortgage or something like that, thinking that that's going to work.
Or they had credit cards the other party didn't know about.
Yeah, frivolously spending money to the detriment of the community, that kind of stuff. DoorDash, $1,100 a month. I'm not sure if that would.
A month or a week?
She says
A month.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought it was in a week.
No.
And I was like, that's a lot.
That would be ridiculous.
That's what I was thinking.
It's
and
still
then
$40 a day. That's a little
It is excessive.
for food for one person.
Yeah.
I mean, but $40, if you're ordering maybe once or twice a day, it makes sense. Of course, she should be maybe cooking something every now and then.
I guess my response to this guy is whether or not he wants to stay married to this lady. If he wants to stay married to her, then meal prep for her, man. If her health is that bad, then meal prep for like a week in advance and say, look, this is your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's all we're going to go on this health kick. And both of us are going to get in shape, and we're going to start eating healthy and have more energy and make plans to go to, I don't know, the Maldives or something.
At some point, Mr.
Those could be the things he mentions in the freezer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
because,
okay, you got a fully stocked fridge.
If I make a whole bunch of breakfast burritos, I just freeze them all.
Brad does it.
Yeah.
What did you make last Sunday, Brad? It was like some kind of a dessert and something else.
Oh, yeah, we did Monte Cristos, and my wife did her chocolate pies.
Now, when you say Monte Cristo, my mind doesn't think dessert. I think cigars.
No,
what about you, Bruce?
Well, I know what Brad's talking about. It's
a breakfast.
It's a
brunch
sandwich,
breakfast
I think.
sandwich.
Yeah, the breakfast, the Monte Cristo, and the other one, Madame, what is it?
I don't know, man. I'm not.
Madame Croquette, something like that.
Oh, yeah. The French cuisine, right? Yeah. Look, if he wants to stay married to her, then I think that he should invest a little bit of time and get them to doing something, I don't know, beneficial for the two of them. Like, it's a good thing to meal prep together. If he doesn't give a shit about her, he's just like gearing towards divorce, and he's like trying to find excuses. Like, look, you don't got to try that hard, man.
That's how it sounds like to me.
You know? It seems pretty clear to me. He's like done with it.
Yeah, the problem I see is that they're doing things to get the other person to react. Like, oh, I cut off this credit card. And then she's like, oh, I'm on the floor. So they're not
Mm-hmm.
communicating and they're not creating a plan,
Yeah.
or they're not negotiating or coming to a compromise on how they're going to manage their money. So
I
they're
should,
just doing these things to incite a reaction from each other. And I don't think that's healthy.
No, it's childish, and it's the
Yeah.
kind of behavior that you see from couples that are on the brink.
I suffer from low blood sugar, and I have never been on the floor.
Throwing yourself on
I
the
mean-
floor.
So
I knew
I
a
don't
friend
know.
of ours that was type 1 diabetic, and if he was, he's kept Gatorades in the fridge because if for whatever
Same thing.
reason he knew that his sugar was getting low, he would go drink
Mhm.
one of those and then he'd be good. But outside of knowing what her medical diagnosis was, I think some introspection on their relationship would probably help. Did she cook in the past, but now is no longer? Does this lack of working ruin her drive to do anything, and that's what's causing her to live in this slothful state where she doesn't want to
Slothful.
make any food, she doesn't want to work, she's staying at home. There's an underlying thing that's going on, and trying to figure out and help. And then it's part of being a good husband is understanding that if your wife is in need mentally, then trying to figure out what you can do to help better her, which will make the marriage function better.
All right, Brad. Well, riddle me this. Now I know that your wife would never ever do this, but let's just hypothetically speaking,
Right.
say that she threw a tantrum and threw herself down on the floor
Mm-hmm.
because you said enough with the eating out. You will eat this Monte Cristo, or you'll eat nothing. Like she's 4.
Yeah.
What would your reaction to that? Like, how would you handle that? How would you? What would you even do?
That I don't know what I'd do at that point, but I also know my wife, and if for whatever reason she knew that if she wasn't feeling well, perfect example. So we cooked pizzas last night, and we were trying out this new frozen pizza place called Traverse Bay Pizza, and we're like, oh, this is going to be good. It's new, it's local to Michigan, and it'll be great. And I said, hey, you're cooking 2 pizzas in the oven at the same time. You might have to increase the time just a little bit just to make sure that they get cooked evenly enough. So she cooks it, and then it comes out, and the smoke alarm goes off, and she's like, these are burnt. I was like, how? We only did it for like a couple minutes more. And what I didn't realize was that she stacked them on the same tray, and that tray was lower than middle. So they got a little extra heat. And so we had bad pizza. And I was on the verge of saying, do we need to place an order for a different pizza place? Because I messed it up.
I don't know what to tell you, Brad. Your marriage is on the rocks. There's there's no going back from here.
She hates
That
me.
was like the most boring dilemma I've ever had on Flad.
Also,
So-
Brad might have mitigating factors, Brad. How close is a Culver's to you?
Less than a mile.
Oh, see, I mean, we can't be too hard on Brad or Mrs. Brad.
Oh, they're great, man.
With
They
the Culver's
got,
so close by.
if that's their biggest problems, man, they're doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them my card anytime soon, or ever, hopefully.
I already got your number, so you're
I know. I'm already on speed dial. So there you go. If you ever pulled over, don't talk to the cops. You call me. Okay, let's move on to a more salacious hypothetical. What do you say about that? Okay, this next one. Oh, this will be a fun one. All right, so last week we did a lot of female-oriented hypotheticals. This is going to be the reverse of that. And let's see how this goes. So this person says that his wife goes to sleep at 9 o'clock every day, and it's killing our marriage. I'm guessing you all could know where he's going with that. But let's hear him out, because this is, look, most couples have different sleep schedules. Just realistically speaking, different work schedules. I happen to be a night owl. My wife happens to go to bed before around this time. You either figure out a way to make it work or you don't. But this is his story. He says, my wife claims she needs to sleep at least 12 hours a day, to which I would say that's excessive. Does she have a condition? Does she have like mono or something? Parkinson's? That's a red flag. 12 hours of sleep is a lot.
It's excessive.
That is a lot. I
Depends.
might see a primary care physician about that
Mm-hmm.
point because
Is
that's
she
At the very
a lot.
least.
actively
I mean-
sleeping 12 hours? Because I find that hard to believe.
Is she recovering?
This is what they say. So this was something I thought was an exaggeration while we were dating. But after we moved in together, I quickly realized it was 100% true. And by the way, I have no idea how old these people are. They didn't mention. So my wife works a remote job from home, which means that she wakes up at 9 a.m. every morning, just barely enough time for breakfast before she clocks in at 9:30. She works as the siren goes by. She works 8 hours plus a mandatory 1 hour lunch break where she speed eats her lunch and goes back to work ASAP. That means she clocks out at 6:30. She makes a point to shower every day. It's nice. And since she has no time to do it in the morning, she does it after work. Oh, shower, I guess. That usually means that she's done with everything around 7:15. So by this time, I've already arrived home and begun preparing dinner. She usually joins me to give me a hand, and we normally begin eating at around 8. Finish eating and clean up. It's usually about 20 minutes to 9, where my wife finally decides to partake in one of our hobbies, her hobbies, usually reading, or watch her play something with me. This is the best part of my day. However, this doesn't ever last long enough, since by 9 o'clock, my wife will invariably claim she's tired and needs to go to bed. That means I get around 15 to 20 minutes per day of hanging out with my wife, which I don't feel is enough. But this is only one of the many issues that this creates. You can imagine the issues that it creates. Ladies, is the 12-hour sleep schedule a thing? What do you say to this?
I know everyone sleeps differently, has different hours needed, but 12 hours just seems excessive. From the schedule that he's talking about, it does not seem like it's enough time for, just takes up the whole day.
Ileana, as a married person, Monday to Friday, the work week, when everything is going on and daycare and work and hearings and traveling and all that kind of stuff, is the quality time you spend with your husband usually between Monday and Friday?
Pre-children or
After, I'm talking about
Good
post.
question.
I'm talking about post.
after children? If we get 10 minutes, that's
Yeah, it's just
it's chaos.
how it goes.
Even pre-children, I mean, maybe a couple of hours if we had like the time to maybe watch a show or something like that. But in terms of sleeping, I can tell you before having children, weekends,
Yeah.
I could do 12 hours easily.
Really?
Saturdays
Oh,
and
when
Sundays.
yeah, for sure. Sleeping?
The
Weekends are meant for sleeping.
Yeah, weekdays, no, because I have to work.
Well, yeah.
But weekends, yeah, I can see it
I'll
happening.
tell you what, man, I haven't slept in like 20 years. I'm like usually 3 to 4 hours a night. If I'm splurging, 6. It's just how it is. That's my sleep schedule. I know it's probably not the healthiest, but that's what I do. But my wife, she's the one that goes to bed early like that. I'm usually the one to like stay up because my mind races and it's like my quiet time and all that kind of thing. But you make it work. It's like you don't expect to have like these spectacular quality time moments with your spouse Monday to Friday, especially with kids.
His expectations are cringe.
Are cringe.
Like expecting that like every single day, let's just have this quality time.
every
15
day is-
minutes.
I didn't want to
is
be
not
the
enough.
one to say it. I'm glad that you said it because
That I couldn't handle. No.
I would never say something like that. Oh, I just 15 to 20 minutes. Is that all I get? And like I'm like groveling at my wife's like, my wife's like, what is wrong with you? She would think that there's something like, did you hit your head? Like, are you okay? It's just look, Monday to Friday is rough.
Yes, it is.
I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you guys have like a mandatory quality time with your significant? And it's okay if you do. That's not what I'm talking about. But like if she really has like these time restraints, I just feel like it shouldn't be that big of an issue to like maybe schedule quality time for the weekends when everybody has time to spare. What do you all think?
I think that the quality time thing, if he's trying to actively participate in the relationship, I mean, he's away for work, he comes home, he makes dinner for her, and then she eats, then she goes and reads, and then goes to bed. Like, there's very little interaction there. Not saying that you have to do it on a everyday basis, but you know, you don't want to become like roommates in that regard.
Well,
Like,
you will not become roommates unless that's like a 7-day-a-week thing. Would be my take on that. Like Saturday nights, we're going on a date. Saturday, Sunday, we're doing family stuff. You know, you're spending all weekend together anyways. Like, look, I'm working, you're working. Just what? I'll see you tomorrow. You know, you got to get your rest. I need my space. I need my personal space. I need my peace and quiet. If you don't, I'll just say this. The second that one partner starts demanding or positing that the time that we spend together is not enough, I need more, they might not be able to give you more, man. And if you're trying to like borrow money and from the account and there's insufficient funds, there's going to be diminishing returns. She's going to become resentful. You're going to call it cringe, right? Like, seriously, could I just like watch my show like Desperate Housewives of New Hampton or whatever?
And the quality time doesn't have to be like a set type of activity, like, I don't know what he mentioned that they do together.
Read.
Even if he's the one cooking, they can talk while he's cooking, while they're eating food together. Like, that's quality time too. It doesn't have to be like a specific activity where this is our, I don't know, relationship quality time and we're gonna time it. Like, I don't know. That's just weird.
So these are his beefs. She pressures me to go to bed at the same time she does, claiming it would be weird otherwise for a married couple. And that me not doing so is the reason we don't have much sex. My response to that is like, just put her to bed then. Like, go to bed, like lay down, hang out, do what you got to do. And then when you're done, like go off and do your own thing. Go play Madden. Go, why don't you go read your own books or something? Like, why does it got to be, just because you're in the bed after she's asleep, you don't have to stay asleep. Like, what's wrong with that? There's ways to make it work. I have tried to disprove her theory by going to bed the problem is, why are you trying to disprove her theory? Just go hang out with her till she falls asleep. Get up and do your own thing. You don't have to fall asleep. It's just, I don't know. Am I out of bounds in saying that? I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a deal. What do you think? No?
I think he's trying to make her like follow his schedule or his way of like what an afternoon or a day should be, and she is doing her own thing and they're not going to see eye to eye.
Well, here's the thing, man. He's a big complainer. Like, get a load of this. So I get sick if I go to bed that soon after dinner. I have a crappy stomach and my digestion will almost stop if I go to bed after eating a meal.
Like sometimes.
Terrible reflex as well. It's like, oh, that's a turn on. Why don't you just go tell her that? That's the big retort, isn't it? To why you won't go to bed with her or whatever? Jesus. I just don't want to go to bed at 9, period. 9 is okay, then don't. Where I'm finally free from her. I get what he's saying. I can wind down. I do what I want. I don't want to wait for the weekend to be able to do that. I don't want to be miserable for 5 days a week only to try and squeeze a few hours of, okay.
They don't have children.
No,
they
I can
don't.
tell.
which is making it worse. It's like, so about weekends, she keeps her sleep routine. This means the late night outings are out of question unless a rare surge of energy happens. There's not that much time for fun because the weekend is usually when we tackle the huge backlog of chores that accumulated during the week. About communication, I've tried to communicate to my wife that I need to be awake between at least 9 to 10:30 so I can do stuff I enjoy. I tell her that if she needs to sleep, then she at least needs to be okay with the idea that I'll be in the living room doing something else. She has a few strong ideas about this, which leave me frustrated. She believes that there are no such things as night owls and early birds. That's preposterous. There's no adult that believes that.
Yeah, that's
And that sleep patterns are 100% controllable. This guy is exhausting. I got to tell you. I often tell her that she pretty much sleeps and works. That's all she does. She has ADHD, Jesus, and hyper focuses on her work, but her productivity is so. What is your okay? What is
how
this
do
guy-
you know what her
What's he
productivity
going
is?
into?
What are we doing, man?
Oh,
This is a common source of anxiety for her, and I believe he's way overthinking this. Like, what is his problem?
He's causing her anxiety.
Yeah, he's causing me anxiety. Like,
Yeah.
when do you shut the F up, dude? It's like, come on, man. Like, all of these things because she wants to go to bed and like fall asleep with you in her arms or whatever. Or,
I can just imagine this guy like in the house like every 10 minutes. We're going to have quality time now.
Every single day. Yeah.
No,
would you like to give me oral pleasures, please?
you have 15 minutes now.
Could we have sex tonight? I'm only asking for 3 minutes of your time.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
No, but I can pencil you in next week.
Talk about subpar productivity.
Oh, this guy's annoying as F. He's gonna look. I think he is the asshole. Not because of what he's stating, but the way that he's overthinking this.
It's going too far.
The way that
into
he's
it.
written this is as if
Yeah.
he is the one with ADHD. Like,
Yeah.
dude, could she just
Yep.
go to bed?
The other
What's
thing
the
I
big deal?
noticed, if you go all the way to the top, he says that she told him, he says, I thought this was an exaggeration while we were dating. If somebody
Oh,
tells you
right.
something
Yeah.
or shows
them.
you something while you're dating, it's not going to change. Just take it at its word.
It's who she is.
Everybody has this idea that while you're dating, like, oh, well, it'll be different when we get married, or it won't last forever. If someone tells you something is a certain way, or if they show you that's how it is, that's how it is.
You know, this issue came up when me and my wife were dating, where she liked to fall asleep. And the way that it would work is like we would go to bed and then she would fall asleep and I would sneak out of the bed and go do what I would do. And then just became the practice, the routine. And it wasn't a big deal. That was the routine. I would be in there until she fell asleep and then I would go and do my own thing because I was usually up until I was a night owl, you know, but it was never like this big crazy thing. It's never caused problems because he just had that understanding. The way that this guy is making it seem is like he's just exhausting. I can't imagine talking to him. I'm reading this and I'm like exhausted listening to him.
A little
He's
bit.
just making problems where they don't need to be. And if he doesn't give in a little bit, look, his own worldview perspective, if that's what he wants to present and that's going to be the only thing that makes sense to him and he's not going to try to understand anything else, then look, it's bound to happen. She's going to leave you or find a side piece or find some antlers or the like, you know. Eliana, you don't know, but antlers is code for Bruce said something about antlers. I don't
Bruce's
know.
moose.
It's, well, I think she definitely needs to see a primary care physician because 12 hours to me seems like a
Yeah.
red flag in terms of health and wellness.
Unless
But
she's
just
been
on medication. or
genuinely
not.
doing it all her life, you know.
Yeah.
Iron deficiency or
I
something.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
A physician can try to diagnose it.
But it's worth a trip to the doctors for sure.
There is a range though. Like I've known people who only need like 5 or 6 hours of sleep a
Yeah.
night and they're perfectly fine. And then I've known other people who need 8 to 10 every night or they're wrecked. So there's a range, but 12 seems like a lot.
And he might
Yeah.
be exaggerating. It might be.
That's true.
He
yeah.
could be is all hyperbole. I mean, this is his world perspective, and I don't honestly trust anything that he says. I feel like I need to get her side to get the full picture. I'm me taking his word for it. The way that he's writing this,
The way he's
just
wording everything.
there's something more to the story. I would be willing to bet that she has a story to tell, and it would make everything make sense after she told it. I just have a sneaking suspicion. So anyway, are we in accord that this guy is the asshole? Well, he didn't ask if he was the asshole, did he?
No, this is off my chest, but yeah, he's a jerk.
Okay, but just so he is an asshole. We were all agreed.
Yeah.
Requested information or not. All right, let us move on. This next one, all right, this is one where this lady wants to know if she is the asshole. She is asking that because she's refused full custody of her daughter after her husband asked for a divorce. This will be a fun one. I've got thoughts on this, but let's go through this together. So she's 31, so she is young. Been together with my husband, Alex, who's 33, for 7 years. That puts her, 24 at the time they started dating. He would have been 25, married for 4 years. All right. So she's getting the 7-year itch. Oh, that's not the topic. The topic of conversation, is it? I suspect that that's a thing, though. Alex was always really excited about the prospect of children from the beginning of our relationship. I was always on the fence. This is another one of those mismatched goals when it comes to having children. So I've seen how hard a single mom has it. I promised myself I'd never be in that position. Plus, I work as a software engineer. Hey, that's IT, isn't it? Software engineer.
Yeah.
I love and I just happen to have the 2 IT guys. I love I tried to do IT once when I was like 23. It was never going to work out, man. It was such a mismatch. They had me like in the basement of some IT facility. And back then, 2003, 2004, there was like all of these like whirling like tape machines. It's the best way I could describe it. And they were like trying to, like, there was this program and I had to insert code and it would take the stats and like they would be saved on these tapes, these reel-to-reel things. I lasted like a month or two before I was like, I'm so bored. I need to get out in the sun. I need to talk to people. This is bullshit. I can't. It was just such a struggle.
I always joke that my best working environment would be a closet with a little pizza door that they could slide food under.
There's something to be said about that. I thought I would like it for that reason because I'm an introvert by nature. But it just in practice didn't work. It didn't work. I have a need to speak and have my voice heard. In IT, you speak in code and stuff. And it's software engineers and whatnot. But my wife does that, so she's an IT person. So I love my career. I didn't want to give it up to be a mom. And Alex and I got married. Those fears went away. We were very much in love. Felt safe. Told him my fears. He said all the right things to make them vanish. So we tried for a baby and had our daughter Ramona 2 years after we got married. The pregnancy and first year with the baby was extremely hard on me. I had multiple problems during and after the pregnancy that were life-threatening and altered my body permanently. Ileana, what do you got to say about the first year after having a baby? How hard is it, man?
It's rough. It's all like haste.
Postpartum, changing bodies, changing appetites,
Hormones. It takes
lack of
about
sleep,
2 years for everything to go back to normal.
normalize.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 1 year, you're still like in the middle of it.
She says, I was disabled, nearly died once in the 6 months after I gave birth. And during this time, my husband grew distant, became angry frequently when we'd speak. Yeah, that's what happens that often happens during this time. It's such a transition. Like they even said the first time, we were so in love and it was going to be this magic Cinderella thing. And then you have the kid and then it's just completely different. There's no more sleep, which was probably helping you guys regulate things. There's no more quality time together. Your health is compromised. Your body is compromised. You feel ugly because your body doesn't look the same. He feels neglected because he got no time or desire to be with him because you're dealing with your own problems. And so it's just this snowball effect. And I often see couples, they got new children and now is the time where we're going to be divorcing as the child is like 1 or 2. And so they're not the only ones. Look, postpartum depression, the pregnancy blues, especially the first couple of years in, are a real thing. It takes an incredibly well-adjusted, mature couple to navigate all those things. And you know what? She seems like she was even unlucky because, look, it's one thing to go through all that. It's another to do it and nearly die and be disabled in the process of going through all of that. So she just got hit with everything. So I spent a lot of time in and out of the hospital and was unable to work. So a lot of the baby care went to him during this time. It was all I could do to stay alive and get better, being separated from my daughter and husband so much. Eventually, I did get better enough to help more with the baby. But after I was discharged from the hospital, he barely spoke to me. I want to clarify early that at no time did I ever neglect our daughter. If I was able to care for her, I leaned on him a lot during this period, but I was also fighting for my health and my life so that I could continue to be there for her. If I had pushed myself too hard, I would have made it worse or be dead. Hey, gentlemen, do any of you two have children?
I do.
Oh, I know Brad does. What was it like? How old is your son?
3.5.
3.5. What was it like the first couple of years trying to adjust from your perspective, not the female perspective, from your perspective?
My wife didn't nurse because she always wanted me involved in the birthing or in the care and feeding process. So we did formula for those first years, and doing the every 2 hours on and off schedule was pretty rough because trying to adjust your schedule, because waking up every 2 hours is never fun. And even if you alternate and do, I'll take 10, you take midnight, I'll take 2. Then it still is a major disruptor to your sleep, your ability to fully go through a REM cycle, and then you're just
You're going to be
honoring.
zombified for the foreseeable future. There's no,
Yeah.
you're not going to have adequate sleep. You're just going to have to live with it. It's what it's like. Was that what it was like for you, Ileana?
Yeah, and I would say still like still waking up in the middle of the night. I still don't get a full night's sleep.
How old is your daughter now?
She's 14 months.
Oh, she's still that young.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah, she's little.
I forget how young your daughter is.
And she's still nursing, so it's like
Mine are 4 and 5 now, and
Yeah.
they're like, I mean, past all this, but I remember the every 2-hour thing, and we actually got them to sleep through the night pretty quickly, around a year. But
we're getting there. It depends. Some nights she'll maybe sleep like maybe 6 hours straight, and there's other nights that she wakes up 4 times, and it's like,
did you
I don't
do the pumping thing?
the what?
The pumping, well, so your husband could like feed
Oh,
breast
yes.
milk through
Yes.
the bottle.
Yes. In the beginning, but logistically, it didn't make sense at one point because we were both waking up. Because when you're doing that, mother still needs to pump.
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense for both of us to be awake, one giving a bottle and one pumping. So I just told him, just keep sleeping. I'll nurse her.
Oh, what
and
a
then
saint.
we'll just, during the day, we'll figure it out.
What
And
if-
usually he allows me, but I sleep in the mornings. He takes care of her, and I do my naps during the day. So
Now, I want you to picture that sacrifice that you just
Mm-hmm.
told me about with respect to him, allowing him to sleep. And then imagine him to come to you a couple of days later. It's like, I'm sick and tired of you neglecting me. I have needs. We don't spend any quality time together. This is bullshit. What would you tell him then?
Oh my God.
It's like, you've chosen death today? Is that what we're doing?
Yes. Like, if I can do this alone, then why are you here? And you're giving me, like, expecting more things from me? No, just
Yeah.
get out.
Just get it.
If I said something like that to my wife, she'd say, "I'm gonna hang your balls on the wreath on the door."
I'd be like, you can't even reach my balls, young lady. I talk shit like that all the time to my wife. It's just part of the way that we communicate. Or like she'll like punch me in the arms, like, oh yeah, was that your big move? Do you feel better? Just get it all out of your system. All right, let me continue with this. I lost. Okay, so we stayed in a state of limbo like this for a while. I was still in recovery, not back to 100% yet, but able to resume a somewhat normal life, and we shared more responsibility with Ramona. I tried talking to him many times over the next 6 months, but it was more of the same thing. He wouldn't speak to me, or he'd get angry, and every little thing I did insist I was making things up and blame me for somehow criticizing him. It was a constant deflection from whatever was bothering him. I got another job about 9 months after the pregnancy, and things seemed to improve for a while, or at least I thought. So, look, men are not as adept as women at being able to cycle through their emotions. I'm sure that, look, she was going through her stuff, and women tend to try to minimize what men are going through because they've gone through so much. But the depression that they go through, and the hurt that they feel, and the neglect that they feel are real feelings that too often are swept under the rug. And when they're swept under the rug like that, and dude doesn't have the ability to filter through those, and he's just constantly getting rejected, and he's not like in therapy or something, and they haven't worked out an ability to communicate those frustrations to each other, this is what happens. And then they end up in my office.
I'm not gonna be vulnerable if I'm just gonna keep getting shut out, and I'm just gonna
That's it,
internalize
all the
it.
time. It's like, look, I kept on trying to have sex with my wife. She kept on rejecting me, so I just gave up. Say, well, fuck it, I'll just go get a girlfriend. You know how many times I've heard that? in my
Oh,
office?
yes, all the time.
Yeah. Or some women will do the same thing. Like, you know what? He's just not paying attention to me. And I'm getting all this attention from coworker Chad over here. And so, you know what? I deserve this. And, she goes and get herself a side piece. Look, it's important. It's one thing, of course, we're going to acknowledge the frustrations and the needs of women, but underrated is the needs and the frustrations of men. Too oftentimes men are told to neglect their feelings because if you give in to them, look, that's not what men do. Suck it up and move on. Why don't you STFU and grow a pair? That's it.
Go to therapy.
I mean, you go to therapy. Look, I mean, you
Seek
see kind of
help.
the way
Just-
that,
Seek help.
yeah, but if he doesn't have an outlet, then what you're going to get is his response.
Oh yes.
Silence. Silence, because he has no ability and he's probably feel like he's not being heard by his wife. And so what's the fallback? I can't say anything. If I say, I lose. And so I'll just keep it to myself. And now he's throwing silent tantrums, and now they're going to get a divorce, and he's about to be a single dad pretty soon.
Silent tantrums. I like that.
Well, that's what it is. You know, the silent treatment. Good old silent treatment. I'm famous for my silent trap. Do not underestimate my ability to tune out. I could tune in and I could tune out. And when I'm out, I'm all the way out. I don't do it as much, you know. Most of the time when I do it, it's because I don't want to say something that I would
it's gonna
regret,
be hurtful.
you know.
Yeah.
But then it takes me a minute to break out of my silent tantrum. It's just, I don't know. Bruce, Brad, could you guys relate?
One of my favorite pastor comedians, by the name of Mark Gungor, has a bit where he says, a man doesn't tell his problems to another man unless he's trying to elicit feedback on how to solve the problem.
All right.
Whereas
I mean, but you're right. You're right. I think you're right on that.
Women will talk about their problems to another woman in the expectation that they are listening to allow the woman to be able to process the thousands of wires going through her brain, and that's how she deals with it. Whereas men just want to go sit down in our comfy chair with a case of Modelo and just chill out.
Yeah. Sometimes men have their menstrual cycles too. And I feel like men would be well served in learning how to get out their emotions without the need to solve everything. Like sometimes it really is as simple as like, oh, like this hurts and, you know, everything sucks. So yeah, it sucks for everybody. Why don't you just get back in the game? It's going to suck for a while. You might as well just press on. You got needs and responsibilities. Go handle your business. All right, you're right. And then we'll fist bump and then we're on. That's all you need to do. You just need to get it out of your system sometimes. Sometimes that works. But other times you got real silent things going on. And it could manifest in any number of ways. And so I'm not trying to be toxically masculine when I say this. These are real, genuine issues that men have. The fact that most of the time, on average, they are not able to communicate because there's not a ready-made mechanism for them. No guy's calling up his girlfriend or his boyfriend or his guy friend to vent. We don't do that. Dominic, when's the last time you vented to Chad?
You guys should. I know you can do it.
I rarely do it.
Yeah, we just
It's been a
don't.
while.
Gentlemen, am I out of bounds? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was talking to, I did an interview with Dave Neal that just premiered today, and we were talking about how the industry I worked in was very male dominated. I was sort of proud that, I've been a manager, and in my teams, I've generally tried to, or at least it worked out that I could have more of a 50-50 split, men and women, reporting to me. Okay. And the one thing I learned is like when you're talking to women, like in a one-on-one or at work, they want to just tell you something and have you listen. Whereas men are often just, they are talking about the problems that need to be solved.
Yes.
And men are okay if you go to the cafeteria to talk to someone at work. Men are okay if you're like sitting across from each other. But it depends. If you're trying to listen, it's better if you sit like 90 degrees, like at a circular table or something, instead of across, because it feels less like you're interrogating them. So there's all these little tricks you can learn that help in these situations.
Co-sign with that. And also, as I'm further lubricated. By the way, whiskey of choice for today. I had no idea that it was a celebrity whiskey. It's called Navigator. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Who makes
Who's the
that?
celebrity?
Who is the celebrity, Dominic? Of course Dominic knows. Who is the celebrity?
I believe it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds. He has
Oh,
a man
okay.
crush on Ryan Reynolds.
I do too.
Oh, she has like me too.
Not a man crush, just a crush.
She just has a crush. It's like
Why not?
that would be like her celebrity hall pass. Who knows?
No. Again, my husband is in the Dodgers.
He's in a doctor's? What?
The Dodgers.
Oh,
Yes,
oh.
that will be my hall pass.
All right.
The Dodgers? Jesus.
No, not the entire team. No.
Oh,
I think Ryan Reynolds He's the one married to Blake.
Well,
Like
all I
Lively.
know is when I purchased that whiskey, I had no idea it was associated with Ryan Reynolds. Had I known that, I would have went with something else.
Who
I'm
is it?
wrong. I'm wrong. It's Ryan Reynolds is Aviation.
Oh, okay.
Navigator is just exists.
Once again,
Okay.
Dominic has steered me wrong.
It sounded like
All right.
Yeah.
So,
That's gin, not whiskey too.
I don't know. I didn't even read.
Dominic,
the
you're fired.
label. This
I
is
mean-
just a Kentucky bourbon, straight whiskey, straight bourbon. That's what this is.
It
The
looks-
Ryan Reynolds stuff is gin.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, okay.
All right. So continuing with this one, this guy's rant. Oh, this lady's
Ladies.
rant.
Mhm.
So we stayed in a state of limbo. I read that part, right? Yeah. So not long after Ramona's first birthday, Alex serves me with divorce papers. He said he'd fallen out of love. Predictable.
Mhm.
A long time ago, and was ready to start anew. I was in shock. Things had started to improve between us, but he explained that was because he decided to leave and he felt less unhappy. It was a Saturday when this happened, so I made sure he was going to be home to care for Ramona for the weekend. Then I packed a bag and I left until Sunday evening. I didn't say where I was going, and truthfully, I didn't really go anywhere but drive. I drove 2 states over by the time I stopped. I needed to think, wow, that is quite the drive. That's something that I did once when I was like 18.
It depends also where you are, because if
I did
you're in
that
a
at
place that you have like
22.
Oh,
three
true.
straights
Yeah.
and just go in a circle and then that's it.
I drove all the way up to Utah and then on the way back. I
Like
don't know.
if you're coming from Kansas to Texas, you can go through Oklahoma.
Mhm.
And Texas, you can say, well, I drove 3 states, but it takes you just like maybe 2-3 hours. to
That
do
is true. I guess that's true.
So,
So naturally, she gets back on Sunday evening. He's pissed, left him alone with her daughter. He's always seemed really put off anytime he had to care for her alone. This time was no exception. They sat him down and carefully said, I will grant you a no contest divorce, but I am not accepting full custody of Ramona. If he was only pissed before, he was explosive now, and everything he hated about me finally came out. That I was a horrible mother, that I wasn't strong enough to be a mother, that I was too weak to carry a child, and now I was abandoning her. You know what? To be fair to him, if a guy were to say that,
mhm.
look, I'm out. I'm not taking custody, whatever. You could have full custody. I'm out. I can't handle it. Society would be quick to label him a deadbeat,
Mhm.
piece of shit. They would excoriate him for his lack of ability to care for his family. And so why should her evaluation be any different?
She didn't say she wanted no custody. She just said she didn't want full custody.
That is true, and so I'm willing to hear her out. But I do have a case like this where usually I've had about a dozen cases like this. Usually when women take this position, they take off for like months,
Oh, yes.
and then they come back like a year later or 2 years later, and all of a sudden now they want full custody. It's like, get the fuck out of here! Where have you been this whole time? All the while he's being single dad and like taking care of everything. Now she wants to jump in and re-ingratiate herself with the child as if nothing ever happened. We see those cases a lot,
I
don't we?
have 2 active ones right now,
Mhm.
just like that.
Yeah.
And that has custody because mom disappeared for a year.
I got one exactly like that, exactly right now.
It's like,
And so, look, it happens. So that's the lens I'm looking at. But let me hear her out. So he became borderline violent at this. Wait, what did I miss?
Yeah. That I was a horrible mother. I wasn't strong enough to be a mother, too weak to carry a child.
Very calmly stated I loved her dearly, would not abandon her, but that I would pay child support and visit her every other weekend. That I would be there for her in any way I could, but I had very clear with him when we got married that I would never be a single mom. I think we need to define what a single mom is, because the definition of single mother should not be I have
Like a
an
widow.
active co-parents that is still helping and co-parenting, but I'm just designating myself as single mom because as if real single moms that the father genuinely abandoned them. They're no child support, no nothing. They're carrying it out on their own. That's the definition that I think of when I think of single mom.
For me, I would say that if father is not responsible for more than like maybe 30% of like the custody responsibility, I usually consider that being kind of like a single mom. At least when I place myself, like whenever my husband is traveling and I put myself in the shoes of these people that only share the child just like on the weekends,
Yeah.
all you have to do during the week on your own, that if you had somebody helping you, it will be so much easier. I don't know. I kind of consider that being a single mom. Like even if you have child support and all that, it's just a lot.
Yeah. Well, it is a lot. It is a lot. But what if the guy's like working? Like, what if he's literally working 60 hours a week? There is no time other than the weekends, and he's paying full child support, and he's dutiful on his visits, and he's involved in extracurriculars. And in that scenario, he would only have what, 20%, 18% maybe?
Well, but of course, I'm thinking about like when both parents are full time. Like I'm thinking if I'm working full time, he's working full time. Why do I have only like I have all this responsibility and he only has like alternate weekends, and like the whole everyday little things of like waking up, taking them to school, bringing them back, compared to just dropping them off on a Friday and picking them up on a back on a Sunday. Like that's a fun time. Like you don't really do much during the weekend. And if the other parent's not really involved, of course, every case is different. There's some parents that even if they don't see their children during the week, they're very involved with homework, with school, and all that. But I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you my situation. Here's my situation. My 18-year-old daughter, I raised her. It started off as a 50-50 thing, and then mom had just kind of effed off. And it turned into every other weekend thing. So she was living with me. So I was responsible for all of the school, all of the everything, extracurriculars, coaching her soccer team, making her meals, getting ready for school, all, clothes shopping, and trying my best to navigate the intricacies of menstrual cycles when she was 10 years old, and all of these things. All by myself. And I was paying child support.
I would consider you a single dad.
That's what I consider myself. But that's what I felt like. Because, and then sometimes she would exercise the weekends and sometimes she wouldn't. It just depended on how she was feeling that weekend. But that was my story. And there's a lot of women out there that have a similar story. But when you have two active co-parents, and I totally get when it's like you're doing everything by yourself and you're working full time and you're still doing all this stuff, you still got to find babysitters. It feels like you're alone. But when you have two active co-parents that are like working together to try to like ease the burden on each other,
then of course not there.
A little different.
Yeah.
So I'm just why are we even talking about this? Are we trying to
how people use the single mom label?
Right. She didn't want to be a single mom.
Functionally widowed versus co-parenting.
There you go.
Right.
And so
But some people are in a custody situation where, I mean, it's like the other parent doesn't exist, almost being a widow. So
yeah, I can tell you this with good confidence that my ex, when I was in that situation, I spoke maybe 10 words to her over the course of 5 years, because it was just like, look, this is the schedule. And then every now and then I'd get a text, hey, not getting her today, not feeling well, or not getting her because I'm whatever. Or sometimes just wouldn't even come. I felt there was no value in me responding to that. I just kind of knew the situation. I wasn't going to put myself in a situation where I was going to be disappointed.
And it's not only about like who does the pickups, who takes them to the school, to the doctors. There's also so much more about raising a child. Like whenever you're dealing with behavior issues, just emotional issues, it's not the same thing you having to deal all that alone, or having somebody that you can talk to, like as the other parent. Hey, this is what the child's going through. What do you think? How should we handle this? Can you go ahead and offer some support? Can you go ahead and talk to him or to her, and so that we're on the same page? That, I think it's of course co-parenting.
Yeah.
But if that's not there also,
too often it's just like they're gone, and then all of a sudden they see her. Why does she have like a rash? Like, why does she have like whatever? How come she's telling me she's depressed? Like, where the hell have you been for like the last 18 months? All of a sudden you're gonna like have all of these opinions. It's just like I could see the frustration because I lived it. I lived it.
I think
thankfully. I'm not
One
in
of the
that
biggest
situation now, but
things that parents or that doesn't get talked about with raising kids is that having both parents in the household is such a blessing because
Mhm.
you could be working with the child. I get up on Saturday mornings with him, and then he could be bugging the ever loving crap out of me. I could be so frustrated with him, and my wife can come up, tap me on the shoulder, and just be like, "Go away."
Mhm.
yep,
And just give you the ability to just clear your head for 10 or 15 minutes, and
yeah,
Mhm.
that is so great, and a lot of
huge,
people
Mhm.
miss that.
Oh yes.
huge. Um, I mean, single parents don't have the ability to do that, but when
Right.
you're blessed to have a partner that could help you like that, it is so invaluable. Just to be able to take 15 minutes to regather yourself. Kimmy says, I consider myself a single mom. My ex can't afford his half of doctor's copay, though he's physically there for his time. He lives off his mom and girlfriend, doesn't even follow the court order. Yeah, we get a lot of cases like that. And you get these man children, they're like in their 30s,
Mhm.
living with mom and claiming they can't work, and so they can't pay support. And then you get like a seek work order. Well, I tried. I went to LinkedIn and I applied to 25 jobs. Look, here's my applications.
Were you in my case yesterday?
You act like I don't do this for a living.
Oh
You
my
know?
goodness.
Yeah, no, I've seen these, and I get
Yeah,
that too. It's like,
it's-
oh, they want to be there, present, and like make the big appearance, but they're not down to pay the
Mhm.
copays or whatever. There is definitely that, and so yeah, many connotations to single parent. I just think that more single parents, some people have better arguments than others, and to those that have any cooperation with their co-parent whatsoever, you should foster it, man. Like it's a positive. Like you need help. You need help. And to the extent that you have it, you should try to make it grow. I don't know, make it last. You're never going to be together again, but you guys are both the biological blood parents of that child. Whether or not you like it, it's how it is. And so you got two options: either make it work or cause problems.
Mhm.
And that's it. So where are we going with this? He became borderline violent at this, grabbing things like he was going to throw them and screaming that I was ruining his life on purpose. I wasn't going to stick around to be talked to like this. So I went and checked on Ramona, gave her a kiss, then grabbed my bag and left again. That takes some balls.
And
What
only
scenario?
infuriates the guy, because if he's feeling like he's doing everything for the child, and it's obviously a point of contention in the relationship, and you're just like, well, I'm going to go again after I just left him for the whole weekend, then it only is going to inflame him more.
In what world would you be able to give your daughter a kiss and then go F off to be alone with your thoughts, knowing that you're leaving her with your significant other, ex-significant other?
I don't, but I also really wanted to have her. But I can see, because in the beginning she said that she was not the one that was really interested in having children. It was more him. So I can kind of see from somebody with that perspective how it's like, well, this is what you wanted, so you deal with it.
But in this scenario, she flipped. She said, at first, that's what I thought, but then we were in love, and then we were cool, but then it got really
Still.
hard. And so, yeah, she was of one mind and then another, and then confirmed that the previous one was the correct one. So a couple days later, his mother texted me. Oh, great.
Party's coming in.
Yep. He left Ramona with her for a few days. She had some nasty things to say to me. That mother should never leave her child. I told her it wasn't her business, and that her son doesn't get a free pass to restart his life because his wife nearly died when she was pregnant. All the way out here. And he became resentful of the responsibility. He's also blown up my phone asking me when I'm going to come back. So you can take your daughter, but I've only replied, I've already told you what's going to happen here. I love my daughter immensely, and I will be a provider for her. I will always support her, but I won't be her primary parent. Am I the asshole? Yeah, I think that you're an asshole. Look, you do whatever you want.
But what I don't see in this, like, what does he want? Like, does he want just to share custody and she doesn't want to? Or
Here's what I think is
because
going on.
I mean, I know he's upset, but
Yeah.
what does he want?
Well, obviously, I think he wanted to not be in this situation.
Of course, nobody wants to
Secondly-
be in this situation, but that's not a reason to be upset.
She's
mean-
putting him in a position that a lot of women find themselves in when men do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
They never asked to be a single parent, but now here you are. But you love your kids, so you're not going to abandon them. But you have no choice. He has no choice. Look,
No.
one of them had the opportunity to take it upon themselves to go restart their life and pay child support. She took it. So what does he want? He doesn't want to be in this situation.
I know.
He doesn't have the balls to abandon his child, and good for him. She did. What are you going to do? Men do this all the time. She's doing it to him. So he's feeling all of the things that lots of women feel. And
No, I understand that.
Yeah, the roles are reversed.
Definitely. But the same way that I tell women that come to my office, go to a therapist, I will tell him the same.
Yeah.
Because you have to deal with the emotions. There's no going, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how many fits you throw,
Yep.
it's not going to change anything. So, gotta deal with it or learn how to deal with it.
And so it's a lot of times it's like this scenario is like, okay, so what do you want? Do you want the judge to say that she's an asshole? Do you want her to give you a medal for being like the single parent of the year or something? Here, you could have it. Would you like another? Do you want 10? Do you want 20 medals? Like, what do you want, man? Do you want recognition that she screwed you over? You have it. You still got to care for your child.
And even if he wants her to take care of the child like 50% of the time, if she doesn't want to, like, well, the judge makes the orders and she doesn't follow them. Well,
She's been dealing with medical issues for the life of this child. Like, getting a court order for her to take care of the child when she may not physically be able to isn't going to help at all.
Yeah, and I don't even know if hey, Robert, thank you for the being a member for a month. One more, talk about the child's perspective. Well, the child's perspective is the child yet ascertained? The year, right? They're a year or two.
14 months.
14 months. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lot of children have that perspective. You grow up in a split household.
yeah, you do.
You're going to have one experience with mom and another with dad. You're going to have a primary parent. That's going to be your home. And you're going to wonder what life is like with the other parent and, romanticize the idea of spending more time with your mom. And it's not going to live up to expectation. But here's what I tell every parent. It's like, look, your child has a need to have a relationship with both parents, regardless of whether or not you are able to provide that or want that to happen or what you think of your ex. Eventually, they're going to form their own opinions
Exactly.
about who their parents are. And it's going to be based on their merits. How you were as a father, how you were as a mom. Children will be able
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We've got tech problems in the West Coast.
are we alive, Brad? Is it just us, or
I think it's just us. We're running the show now.
are we live, or are they live and we're frozen? What's going
We are
on?
live. They are frozen, I think.
Oh my gosh, chat, what's going on? Help us out of here. This is a hard one. I mean, I think the problem is we don't know anything about what this guy wants, like they were saying. So it's hard to tell. Like, she keeps saying, like, well, I just drove away, or he got angry. It's hard to call someone an asshole when they're like, the other person got angry a lot, right?
Yeah, I think the problem is that he feels neglected in the relationship because he's taking care of this daughter, and he's like, well, I really need you to step up and do more, and she's like, I can only do so much with my condition, and he doesn't want to feel like he's straddled with the responsibility, but she didn't want it in the first place. So now they're both living with decisions that I don't think in her story, she said that he was the one who really wanted the child, but didn't understand the amount of effort that a child takes, even because you think someone gets sick and then they're out of commission for 48 hours. You got to do most of the rearing. That happens. I mean, it's whether it's COVID, whether it's the flu, whether whatever the case may be, you just be like, hey, I need you to be the person for the next 48 hours so that I can mend up.
Yeah.
And then you just take it as it goes.
It's very difficult. I have a hard time relating to the post because I can't imagine, like, even if somebody got angry at me, I can't imagine just like walking out the door while the 1 to 2 year old child is still inside. Do you know what I mean? I just have a hard time wrapping my head around doing that.
I mean, I've had situations where I've gotten so frustrated at a situation. I'm like, I'm just going to go drive. I'm
Mhm.
I'm
Well,
not
I
going to
understand that.
I'm not going to go do anything crazy, but I go for a drive for an hour or so, and then I come back, and I've been able to clear my head, and that's
Yeah.
that. But
But this lady was leaving for like the whole weekend or many days, and the mom is texting. It wasn't an hour. An
yeah,
hour I can understand, but like days at a time, like leaving your kid and you don't know what's happening with your kid. I just can't wrap my head around that.
yeah,
At least for me, like I would feel more like I will just take the responsibility. Whatever the responsibility is that I need to take, I'll take it.
yeah. And
Um,
while she may love her daughter, she certainly doesn't want to take that nurturing aspect of their daughter,
mhm.
which is different because I have the completely opposite life experience. My wife is fantastic with their son, and she, there'll be times because we alternate bathing schedules, and I hear her playing with him in the bath, and it's a blessing to hear. But not every child and parent relationship is going to be like that.
Yeah. Mm,
But hopefully these guys get something figured out.
I know. Someone needs to come back. Because yeah, we can't
We can't bring up chats. We can't
yeah.
share and present anything. So we're SOL on that front.
We're just adrift. My dog isn't too concerned. He doesn't mind.
Yeah, he looks super comfy in that chair over there.
Yeah, he's just cashed out. Oh my gosh. Mm.
But I feel bad now because I brought up that story in the beginning, and he's like, "We need something more salacious. This is family law after dark. We need."
Yeah.
So now I gotta amp it up and find
Oh.
something more salacious for next week. Or he said they're
Yeah,
restarting their router. Their internet
maybe.
went down.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there could be, I don't know. I think there's a lot of details, and what I'm noticing after seeing or being in a couple of these streams is a lot of these things boil down to communication problems.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a pattern I'm seeing for sure. Rob was asking how old those people were. I think they were saying what? They were in their early 30s.
33 and 31.
Yeah. So they were around 30 when they had the kid or so, I guess. But they'd been together for 7 years, something like that.
Hmm.
This is my border collie back here.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. Go throw the ball later.
But yeah, so it's just a little rough. Wow, it's just a little rough considering kids.
Mhm.
Hey, welcome back, Omar. Thanks for joining the show. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
We can't even hear you.
Oh boy. Is he calling in from his phone?
That's what it looks like.
Mm. Oh my gosh, paralegal Liz does family law too. That's good. Check out some of the shows.
Rob, you have too much faith in people in their 30s. There's plenty of millennials that still have minds that they're only 21 and just got out of college.
I'm pretty sure I'm only 21 and I just got out of college. I don't know. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, border collies. Yeah.
There we go.
Hey,
Now we can hear you.
fellas.
How you
Yeah.
doing, Omar?
Oh, wait a minute.
You're talking.
Nope.
Don't end the stream.
Oh, we got double. Oh boy.
Well, now we got you.
Now you're here.
All right. What the fuck with that? Jesus Christ.
Internet. What are you gonna do?
You get
What's
the
up,
solar
paralegal
flares down
Liz?
there?
What was that?
You get the solar flares down there? What's going on?
Oh, I don't know, man. We got all kinds of crazy flares here in California. Paralegal Liz says, "Yay, go Friday and 4-day TPR trial." Paralegal Liz, I have no idea what you're talking about, but thanks
Never
for
heard
finding
of
the show.
TPR trial.
She says she just found us.
Says she works in family law, so.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Really? We should swap stories because that's kind of what the show was about. So we lost Ileana, but we were in the midst of talking about this one case. I think we pretty much wrapped it up. And we were declaring that, yeah, this lady's a dick, but what are you going to do? Is what it is. I think that's where we're going to leave that hypo. So I'm going to wrap that one up, unless y'all have any closing thoughts for that.
No, we talked about it a little while you were gone.
Oh, well, that's nice. What'd y'all say?
Just the idea that she's checked out of the relationship, even though she may love her daughter and want to be there for her. He doesn't understand the level of effort is needed for a kid, even though he romanticized having kids in the beginning of their relationship. So now they're both trying to figure out what to do.
Well, paralegal is termination of parental rights is not going to work because...
No, her TPR hearing on Monday. Not this
son of a bitch. You know what? I should just stop talking about things. I don't know.
Two different cases.
Yeah.
I was gone for about 5 minutes. I restarted my router. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is, man. Do y'all want to do one more, or
I gotta bounce because I gotta go pick up my boy.
Yep.
So
Brad's got a jet.
He's got to do his cardio. All right, it'll just me and the moose.
Yeah.
Me and Bruce the moose. And Dominic for whatever insights he might be able to have. We got a big Dodger game tonight, man. Me and him are all excited about it.
Oh.
we just went to
Elimination
game 4 of our Detroit Cleveland series. So
did you guys win?
No.
Oh, so you guys are out?
We got to go back to Cleveland to try and beat them.
Oh, it just made it harder.
Yeah.
I was rooting for the Tigers. People keep on saying about how innovative they've been with their pitching staff. It's like they just don't have any starters. They're using the bullpen like people have been doing since the 50s when that happens. What is innovative about that? I don't know. Wrong show, right?
Right.
Let's go on to another one.
All right.
All right, last one.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, have a good one, man. All right, Bruce. It's just you and me and Dominic.
Here we are.
Why don't you put on the headphones and jump on camera, yeah?
Yeah.
For the first time in Family Law After Dark history,
Oh my God.
Dominic, the producer, is going to jump on camera as he bangs into the mic and causes the feedback. And he's supposed to be like my sound guy and IT guy, and he's like causing all these problems.
Oh,
Couldn't
boy.
even keep the internet up. God damn it.
Oh, dear.
But it's good, man. I'm going to wait for Dominic because, I don't want to be by myself. And Bruce, I feel nervous.
We're going to litigate some serious issues here.
Yeah. Well, this last one is I think I'll give you all the option. What do you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about whether or not this guy should stay with the lady who's saving herself for marriage? I feel like I need a woman's perspective on this, and all the women are gone.
Oh boy.
Or do
Yeah,
you
we
wanna do
need
this one?
Schnitzel Ninja for that one.
I know. She'd be good on that one. You want to do that one, or you want to do this one where this guy instantly regrets moving in with his girlfriend?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do the
probably
moving
one.
in.
The moving in one? All right, we'll do
Sure.
that one. Okay. Hey, Dominic, why don't you sit on the casting couch? I promise you'll be safe. All right, let us, he's really going to do it. Hell yeah. For the first time in Tilted Lawyer podcast history, Dominic is going to ingratiate himself to the camera. He's bringing his laptop. And
He
he's,
put the camera away, so
oh, well, all right. Well, we'll just do it like this then. This guy's 40 years old. He moves in with his girlfriend of 39. Been together for just over a year and have been living together for about 4 weeks. Since moving in, I've become very concerned about my girlfriend's attitude and behavior towards me. What I initially thought was a healthy relationship was starting to feel increasingly disconnected.
Did you want to share the text or?
Yes, I do. And good call on that. Here we go. We both agreed that moving in together was what we wanted, and it made sense for me to move into her place since she owns her own home and I can't move out. However, since I moved in, it feels like we're constantly arguing, and every argument seems to be about something I've supposedly done wrong. I try my best to help out, cook dinner several times a week, take out the garbage, clean up after both our dogs, pay for a bi-weekly house cleaner, clean the sheets twice a week, vacuum, etc. Despite my efforts, I always seem to end up as the bad guy. For example, last night I loaded a pan incorrectly in the dishwasher and was called sloppy and inconsiderate. Inconsiderate because apparently I was trying to upset her, though I wasn't. I'm also exhausted from constantly feeling like I'm walking on eggshells, not feeling like I have my own space, and the growing sense of unhappiness that hits me when I leave work and have to go home. He's paying half the mortgage. He wants us to know that. So I finally spoke to my girlfriend about her attitude. She admitted that since I moved in, she's been trying to push me away. She told me she loves me, but doesn't want to be hurt. So she's been deliberately irritating me in the hopes that I would leave.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess. So she hinted that if I left, she could tell her family it's over because I'm just another jerk. Jesus, she's 39. Seems a little immature.
Really?
Am I wrong?
I mean, no, I mean, it's weird because it's very like self-aware, passive-aggressive.
Yeah, but I also feel like, well, I have a theory. I want to finish before I jump to conclusions. I'm almost at the end. So I'm also oh, Jesus Christ. You know what my biggest pet peeve is? When people try to self-diagnose their mental illnesses or mental maladies.
Well, they could have been independently diagnosed, and they're just passing the information
Could
on.
have been.
We don't know.
In my experience as a
sure.
lawyer, 99% of the time when somebody diagnoses themselves like that, there is no diagnosis.
Like if they say they have autism.
Yes, exactly. It's just my experience, man. Don't shoot the messenger. So I'm very sensitive to these issues. She's been gaslighting me, telling me that all the tension is just in my head because of my mental illness. I don't think she can expect a functional relationship if her behavior doesn't change, and I will leave if this continues. That's what she wants you to do, dipshit. So how's that
He should have left when she said, "I am pushing you away."
Yeah, take the cue. It's not going to get any better from here.
No.
Jesus.
Everybody thinks it's going to get better, or what they see is not the reality. What you see is the reality.
Bruce, you are a 49-year-old man.
Yeah, boy.
And you were single.
Yeah.
What would be, well, more or less, right? Never mind the dating contracts.
Very single, yeah.
What would be the attraction for you to move in with anybody purporting to be a girlfriend or significant other?
I think at this point, you would have to feel more comfortable with that person than when you are alone.
How often is that the case?
What is that?
How often is that the case that you feel more comfortable with somebody else than when you're alone?
Well, I mean, they say in relationships, like if you have more positive experiences than negative experiences, things will maybe be okay. But if you have too many negative experiences versus positive, things will not be okay. And that's what this guy is seeing with all these, the dishwasher thing or the eggshells. If he feels like that, that means he's having a lot of negative experiences versus positive experiences. And that's a big red flag for me.
You are a man of experience, though.
Yeah.
And you know how to think that way. So I'm going to pose the question to Dominic, who does not. Dominic is 25 going on 26. As we sit here, he literally has a Dodger jersey with the last name of some other guy on his back.
Well,
no,
you got to pay extra if you want your own name on the back of the jersey. That's
really
true. Expensive.
I gladly pay extra. I think the rule with that is it's cool to do that, but they just can't be a current player. They got to be a childhood hero or somebody.
And that's what Seeger is to me, so it makes sense.
Wow. How old am I, man? Jesus.
Dominic still is a youth.
He is a youth. A ute. He's a ute.
Yeah.
You don't even get the reference, huh, Dominic?
No, I don't.
It's okay. Bruce, do you even?
What?
My cousin Vinny? The Utes?
Yeah.
The two Utes.
Yeah.
Of course he does. All right. So, Dominic, what would be the incentive to you? What would be the attraction to you to move in with any young lady? Why would you want to?
The only reason I would move in with somebody would be if we're getting serious and I can see the relationship going in a good way. But other than that, really no incentive to move in with somebody, just to move in with somebody.
So you would do it purposefully, with the understanding that it's like a test run to maybe see if it's going to work out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this guy tested it out. It's not working out. So
yeah,
I don't understand what his confusion is. But he says, so if in my shoes, would you try to repair the relationship? Absolutely not. For
No.
what, man? For what? What is there to repair? She's already out. Look, He says, or is it better for me to move on? If I move on, I'm fine with being single for the rest of my life. I'm starting to think I'm not cut out for this. Well, that's a good thing to realize when you're 40. So look, when you are dating somebody, there's the infatuation stage where it's like, oh, this person is so wonderful, and you want to have as much time with them as you can. That only carries you so far. And then I remember when I was dating, it's like, okay, I used to hate it when ladies that I would entertain would want to like not get the hint that I wanted them to leave. And I didn't want to be a dick about it, but it's like, okay, like I got to get up in the morning. Like I got to get up early.
Oh dear.
I got work in the morning. It's like, hey, so it's getting late, huh? I was like, yeah, it is getting late. Isn't the moonlight just lovely? No, it is not. I mean, would you like some change for the Uber or something? You know, I wasn't like that, but it would be this thing where it's like, I really valued my personal space. It was cool to like hang out with anybody, but I feel like when you're living with somebody, the quickest thing that you have to quickly solve is how do you reconcile your need for personal space, because everybody has a need for that, versus their personal space versus quality time together. Because the second that you move in together, now you see everything. You get to see like her bathroom habits. You get to see whether or not she bathes every day. You get to see like what a slob she is. You get to know if like has like a funny body odor, like if her feet smell, if you know, all of these things that you never contemplated.
And she will see the same about you.
100%. And I don't want to be judged, man. Hey,
there's no ladies in the lobby here. I gotta keep it real.
Yeah, and that is 100% goes the other way. Like a guy, when they're dating somebody, is not trying to show them all of that. It's like, look, I got a whole routine, man. As soon as you leave, I'm going to jump on Madden for like 4 hours. And I don't want you to judge me for it. How about you just go over there while I'm like exercising my personal space? You know what I mean? When like even meals are a thing. It's like now you got to take the other person into account. You can't just cook for yourself, which would be like whatever you want. Now you got to consider the other, and like it's extra planning, it's extra stuff, it's just extra things to think about. There is a definite adjustment period, and of course, it sometimes works out. But what's up, Melissa?
Hey,
what happened to your hair? Why is your forehead so large?
idiot.
Oh, is that you in your new office space?
No, I'm in the break room actually.
Oh, well, good for you. We were talking about this guy that is thinking about whether or not his relationship is worth preserving since he moved in with his girlfriend. She really don't like him. She's been trying to piss him off and get him to leave on his own accord, and he won't do it. He wants to know whether or not he should stay or not, or try to work it out. What would be your immediate response to that?
He needs to leave. To be honest with you.
Is there any would there ever be any situation where there was a guy that you wanted to work things out with, where you would try to purposely get him to leave on his own?
If I wanted to work things out, no. Why would I want him to leave if I wanted to work something out?
If you ever get to that stage, is there any change in your mind?
No. That stage of like purposely pissing him off so he leaves?
That's what she's trying to do. Trying to do.
There's no going back around that. Can you still see me?
No.
We can hear you.
Oh, wait. Give me just a sec. There, I'm back.
All right. Now that that's squared away.
She's not just pushing him away. She told him she was pushing him away.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's no going back.
Yeah.
I think that this is a blessing in disguise for her. Hey, MG Law's in the house. What's up, sir? How are you, sir? He says, Teresa asked, you moved the bags from the designated spot for them, so he moved them back. I don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds a lot like, look, when I come into the house and I kick off my shoes, I put them where I want them to be. And it doesn't matter if it looks disorganized to you. I put them near the door. When my wife moved in with me, she wanted to buy a shoe rack. I'm like, for what? They're right there. Like, I put them right there because I know where they're going to be.
I do remember this story.
Yeah, and she wanted to like start redecorating my whole space, and like I had it all worked out, like it was functional for me, and didn't have to worry about anybody else's preferences or whatnot. It's just hard. If you're 39, if he's 40, she's 39.
Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Yeah.
There you go. If you guys are in your 40s and this is an issue, blessing in disguise, man. Move on, move out, get your own place, go be single, go hit the gym, whatever, whatever you got to do. But this is not worth chasing. That's my final take on it. And that's all I got to say because Stone Cold said so, or whatever they say. They're having a whole conversation in the comments that I'm not privy to.
Yeah, the comments is going to war over like how to load the dishwasher and how to put things in the refrigerator and whether things go on a counter versus on top
Are
of the
you a dishwasher guy,
refrigerator.
Bruce? I'm
Am I
not
a
a
what?
dishwasher guy. I'm a dishwasher guy.
I have 2 dishwashers.
So I guess that means yes.
Well, I have
I was
one-
just,
I have one what do you mean a dishwasher guy?
when I would wash the dishes when I was living by myself, I would just wash the effing dishes. Like, it makes no sense to like wash the dishes to put them in the dishwasher. Why don't you just wash them now and I'll be done? Because you got to like scrape all the food off anyways. Like while you're there, you might as well just wash the dish. And so,
Yeah, if you're just eating a sandwich and you have a dish and you can clean it, then you can clean it. But if you go and like meal prep or bake or do a lot of cooking, you will end up with a bunch of things that have to go in the dishwasher.
yeah, Pam says these are serious issues, Bruce, the dishwashing protocol.
I'm sure they are. I mean, I'm just saying.
And for that reason,
that's
if it's a
what
serious issue to the woman, I'd be like, well, I guess you're going to do washing the dishes then, right? To your preferences. Who am I to get in the way of your creativity? And good luck with that. Make me a sandwich.
I
on this
have
dish
I have a
that you're
spare
gonna wash.
dishwasher. I have a spare dishwasher.
Oh, Bruce has 3 wives.
I'm prepared. I'm like the Boy Scouts. I'm always prepared.
MG is questioning whether or not Bruce has 2 wives. I know that he definitely has 3 girlfriends.
Oh no.
And that on the last Family Law After Dark, he was soliciting dates.
The dating
That's
contracts are
something.
ongoing. I don't.
Yeah. He's a pre-nuptial dating arrangements.
Oh dear.
I don't know, man. Hey, Melissa, are you hungry?
Not at the moment.
I'm just saying because you got RBF. Is it
You said
hangriness?
that was one of the things you were going to miss about me.
I ain't seen you in a while. I'm getting it all in while I can.
I thought you were going to ask her if she ordered $1,100 in DoorDash.
Oh, would you order $1,100 a month in DoorDash, Melissa?
A month.
A month. In 1 month. Could
It's
you
like
spend $1,100?
$40 a day with Uber Eats or DoorDash.
Okay, that's a little bit obsessive, and I'm not gonna say I don't like DoorDash because I do, and my husband hates it. But yeah, that's obsessive. And besides, isn't that gonna cost you like stomach ache or stuff like that at one point?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know how you guys can order DoorDash or order food.
I mean, eating takeout every day. Ugh.
It's not healthy.
I don't feel comfortable with somebody delivering my food.
Sarcasm wants me to order her a sandwich. Or make her a sandwich.
You owe me a sandwich.
She says, Omar, you wench, you owe me a sandwich. Shit. Oh, boy. All right, let's do this last one. Since you're here, Melissa, in honor of you, we were about to wrap up the show. Our internet went down today. We're going to do this last one in honor of
Another
you.
internet problem? Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, you remember, right? You remember those issues.
Yeah.
They're starting to become more and more frequent, unfortunately. Let me share my screen on this one. Lady wants to wait until marriage. This is my hypothesis about women who say that.
Perfect.
Most women that openly say they want to wait for marriage have long since lost their virginity. Is that a fair statement?
Wait, say it again?
Most women,
Uh-huh.
and I have no way of knowing this, it's just something I suspect from life experience.
You have no way of knowing this. Okay. Mhm.
Most women that say they want to wait till marriage have long since given up on their virginity or have lost their virginity a long time ago. And they just want like a fresh start.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
really? See? You see?
Okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna quote Sex and the City once again.
My God.
Because Charlotte did this when she got married, and her friends found out on her bachelorette party the day they took her out when she was like really, really drunk. And then Samantha told her, like, why on earth are you doing this? You're not even a virgin. She's like, I wanted a fresh start. She literally said that. So
Yeah.
you are right.
Is it the same thing if you're preserving yourself for marriage and you just say, okay, we could do all this stuff, but nothing in the vagina, which means everything else
It's the same damn
is in play.
stupid thing, to be honest with you.
Like, how annoyed are you with people that do that? Like, what are we doing right now?
When I heard that once, my face was like, really? Really? Like, are you being for real or you're joking with me?
Well, let's hear what this young lady has to say.
So
Omar,
it's
you're
perfect
gonna,
for me
you're
on
gonna be
paper.
right.
Am I? Did
Yep.
you read ahead?
Yep.
All right.
It says perfect for me on paper. Okay.
I always
I've
want to read the
never-
whole thing first before I think about it.
I like to react in real time. I feel like that's it's just my preference, man.
Generally, the
it's
title
fine.
gives me a brief of what would happen, but let's see here.
All right. So this guy says, I've never liked anybody this much. When you start like that, you're already on the defensive, man. It's like, well, let's see. We have so much fun together. We get along so well. We've been dating for a few months now, and I am seriously falling for this girl. The only thing is she's saving herself for marriage, and the only form of release I get is jerking off. All right. Onto her stomach.
Only her stomach?
Very on her stomach, exactly. Very, very
weird.
explicit.
That's very
Well,
specific.
you would be the one to come
The
in on
ultimate
this one,
landing
wouldn't you?
zone.
I guess. I mean, it's a big wide area, maybe.
Keep reading, keep going.
All right. She won't give me oral, but is fine with receiving it.
That's
What do you think of
Excuse me?
that?
that's
Okay,
very interesting.
That's fine. That's okay. I have so
I
many.
totally-
I'm not gonna talk about that. Okay.
I want to
totally
know
respect
what
her
his
wishes
hands are doing while he's doing that.
I totally respect her wishes.
in her decisions, but it's leaving me feeling sexually unsatisfied.
Of course.
No shit. Reasonable. So I told her about my feelings yesterday. Now she's kind of giving me the cold shoulder. What do I do? Could I just, without reading any further, here's what I suspect.
Okay. Uh-huh.
She's not all that into him. She likes the idea of him, but she's not
No.
sexually attracted to him. And she was willing to do other stuff with other people, just not with him, but she's unsure about it. And so she's sort of like 1 foot in, but 1 foot out. But if she ever meets a Chad, she's like, oh, fuck this guy. I'm out.
A Chad. No, not necessarily. Maybe what I think, without reading further, maybe in the past they have used her for just that and they dumped her. So that's why she's trying to maybe avoid it. But
on,
honestly,
man.
to be
Come on
completely
now.
honest with you, it's really, really fucking selfish that you're having him go down on you and you're not doing the same. Like, come on. Don't be such an asshole.
What you said doesn't logically track for me, but maybe I don't have a female perspective. It just doesn't make any sense what you just said. That I don't know, man. Well, let me continue reading.
Yeah,
I
let's
feel
see
like
what else she says. Or he says, because it's a he.
I just think I'm gonna be right. Let's just see.
She's had sex before. There it is.
Yeah, she's had sex before. No stranger to it. She had her party girl days and recently became Christian. Oh, shit!
No, run away. No. Do not te
Could I
quieres
just
meter
say
ahí.
this? Could I just say this before I go any further?
Ooh.
Back when I was like 18, 19 years old, I used to be like a youth pastor before I got kicked out of church. I've told you about this before. I
You
know
got kicked
about these
out?
Christian girls, man. Oh
Yes,
yeah.
you
Well,
Wait,
did.
why am I
Remember-
asking that question? Of course
Remember
you
your
got kicked
grandma
out.
was like
Why would
super
I?
Christian? You told me.
yeah, well, I got kicked out for like moral reasons. Like they're wanting me to like collect money from people, and I was like, I didn't feel like I was a tax collector. I just didn't feel right. It turns out that they got in a lot of trouble for collecting money from. Anyway, it's a whole nother story. I got kicked out because I wasn't willing to do what they told me to do. But these Christian girls, in my experience, were a lot like this. You know, there was like, oh, we're party girls, but now we're like saving ourselves. But it was
Yeah, they're
always
all
like
that
this
way.
thing. Yeah. And, you know, it was like a facade because of some kind of post-mortem trauma, or just like maybe it was like they got weird about it. They got real weird about it. But it was never like we're closing the door to sex. It was always just like we're doing this, but as soon as they would fall in love with someone that they actually wanted to be with, then they were no longer Christian anymore. They just left the church, and then, you know, the rest is
They just
history.
left the church. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they were Christian because in the church that I was going to, like, they were very nosy with people. It turned out to be a cult, by the way. They were very
Always.
controlling with their members, and like they would ask like these really intrusive questions. I was young and impressionable. Like they wanted to like lift me up as like this leader and like give me all these speaking positions, give all these sermons and stuff like I knew what I was doing. They put me in like a leadership position in college, and I would have to talk to all of these people and justify, you know, living a Christian life and all those things. And more often than not, I would talk to these women that would have these opinions, and you could not hide their sexual dissatisfaction with having to live this way. And they would say all of these things until they would fall in love with somebody, and then they were gone. And I wasn't there for very long. That's just my experience with it. So that's why my initial thoughts.
It is a cult. To be honest with you, I do feel the same way. It is a cult.
Well, I don't know if she's in a cult. I just know the church that I was associated with turned out to be a cult. Bruce, do you have any thoughts on this matter? Why do I got to be the
On
one
which
giving
one?
predictions about the Christian woman that wants to save herself for marriage and her true intentions and whether or not she's
The Christian
Well-
girl that wants to save herself for marriage but isn't actually a virgin. Let's quote that.
Yeah.
I don't want to make look, I want to be clear. There are plenty of genuinely Christian women that have these
Yes.
views that are genuinely practicing. There is a lot of people like that, but there's just way more of the other end of that, which is to a fault. Like they'll do it until something else comes along. Anyway,
I think they're in trouble because of the edit that he added.
oh, what's the edit?
Because again, if
He
we go
added
back to the
two.
beginning of the show, what did I say? I say when someone tells you something, you should take them at their word.
Yes, you
And-
should.
In the edit, if you go down,
Edit number
um,
2?
no, it's the I also brought up the fact that I am not religious with her, and she says she has hope that anyone can become religious and eventually believe what she believes.
Oh, the hell with that.
No, you cannot change this man. You cannot
No.
change the lady.
No.
Believe people when they show you who they are. Believe
What is the
people when they
logical
tell
fallacy?
you who they are.
What would you say the logical fallacy is in that kind of thinking?
Shifting the issue.
Well, I mean, no,
excuse
you're just
me.
being unrealistic.
Just
Like
gonna go,
someone
I
is
saw
trying
your
to
eyes.
tell you, like, I am religious or I am not religious. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that bother me. They're just going to change or it'll be okay anyway, even though there's this major issue between us.
Yeah.
And so they are basically just ignoring or not paying attention to reality. It's a little delusional. It's not a logical fallacy. It's just sort of delusional.
I hear you. So this is what he says. So, wow, this blew up. I thought I should add that I just had a talk with her. She says that she doesn't want to give oral because she's worried about how long that will satisfy me. And if she does give me oral and it won't keep me satisfied for very long, she says she really wants to actually, but is scared it won't keep. What the hell is she talking
That
about?
means she's what I don't know if you understood.
No, I get it. She thinks
Okay.
that his appetite is going to become so insatiable as a result of the pleasure from oral sex that he's going to want to take it further. I get it. Is that what we're thinking? Is that what
Yeah.
you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. So I also brought up the fact that I'm not religious with her, and she says that she has hope that anyone can become religious and eventually believe what she believes. So what Bruce said is something that Christians believe, that you cannot be with somebody in which they call it you're unequally yoked. If one person is religious and the other is not, and you expect for them to either become religious or them to give up their religion, you are chasing something that you're never going to catch. It's a fool's errand to try to rectify that. And so, look, at what point does a non-religious person say, F this? I'm not, what are we doing right now? I'm not marrying you just to have sex. And then you're
Yeah.
going to go look for some other thing.
And people try to rationalize it. There was actually a season of Love is Blind where two people met and got together, and one was very religious and one was not. And of course, you know, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of that.
I hope I'm not even reading the comments. I hope that I'm not coming off like, I don't know. Sometimes when I talk like this, people think like, oh, he's being insecure or like I have these hot takes. It's not hot takes, man. I'm just speaking from life experiences.
All right.
I'm accounting for, I'm not trying to generalize is what I'm trying to say. This is what I suspect this young lady is going on in her head. So I keep trying to tell her how this isn't going to work for me, work with me or with anyone who doesn't share her beliefs in the future. And she keeps circling back to how she really wants to give me oral and how there's more to relationship than just sex.
So she's using it here and she's just like dingling it around him. Okay. That's basically what she's doing, Omar.
Is
You know
this a
it.
move, Melissa, to dangle it around to,
I have never done that, but this is what she's doing. She's
you
like
seem to know the
using
strategy.
that to that.
All right. Also, she says that she doesn't believe the Bible says anything about foreplay. The Bible says a lot of things.
Okay.
And I do not want to turn the look. I've read the whole Bible. I've read the whole thing. I read the whole thing a couple of times. It says a lot of things.
That her belief is her own. Okay.
She could believe whatever she wants, man. Okay, so that everything besides penetration is on the table. That her belief is her own. The Bible also says that for a man to lust after a woman is going to, as akin to him going to hell or something like that. What
The
was the
Bible
line
says that
about?
the Bible also says that being gay or lesbian is like the worst thing you could ever do, but whatever.
It also directs fathers to murder their sons for the
Yeah,
sake of
something
religious
like that.
sacrifice.
Mhm.
It also talks about fathers raping their daughters,
Mhm.
and like as if it was like a normalized thing. There's a lot of things that it says that
Yeah,
you
the
have
Old
to.
Testament, you can't take it that seriously at this point.
Yeah. Also, have you ever read the book of Acts, the book of Galatians? There's a lot of stuff that is said in the Bible. I'm not trying to make this a religious debate. Why did I even go spend so much time on that?
This is my final edit.
Your final edit?
No.
She's reading it.
He's got part
She
three.
doesn't believe the Bible. Her belief is okay. So thank you to everyone who responded. This was incredibly difficult to do, and after many tears, I broke it off for her today. While part of me wishes that I did save myself for her, another part of me knows that I wouldn't have been satisfied the whole time. Also, I know that I'm not gonna convert to Christianity anytime soon. Sorry that I won't be able to respond to everyone, but it was a resounding red flag. I think you're all right. This
He did the best he could, to be
He's
honest. with you.
27. He seems younger than 27. I guess what I would say is if you're going to date somebody, sex should not be such a controversial issue. If sex is a controversial issue early on in your relationship, it's doomed to failure. Like, it's okay to believe whatever you want about sex, but if somebody is wanting to save themselves or somebody has differing sex drives, if somebody's into certain things and not others, that
It's
should
gonna
be
cause a
ferreted
really
out
good issue, a
really
really big
early.
one.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that stuff early in the relationship. Otherwise, what are you doing? Be with somebody that's more aligned with your views. Look, it
Exactly.
doesn't matter like how attractive you are, how much you enjoy being with her. If she doesn't want to give you what you need and you think it's going to become a problem, and she's talking crazy like that, oh, if I give you oral, you're just going to want more and you're going to grape me. Is essentially what she's saying, I feel like, or pressure her into doing something
Yeah,
where she becomes the
pressure her,
victim.
exactly. So, I
Or
mean,
be
Yeah.
he
disappointed.
he cut it off at a good time. Like,
I agree.
bye.
Look, no harm, no foul. And I'm not judging that young lady for whatever she wants to do and whatever her worldview. However she needs to conduct herself to justify whatever is fine. I'm just saying for him, get the hell out of there while you have a chance. While you don't have any kids, while you're not, you have no obligations
Nothing.
to this lady.
Well, you haven't moved in
She,
together. While you're like,
yeah.
the deeper you go, the harder
The
the
harder
fall
it is. That's 100% true.
Hey, Melissa, what if your husband's
Sunk
like,
cost
hey,
fallacy.
I'm saving myself for marriage, so if you really love me, then you will
What
convert
fucking
to
marriage, idiot? That would be my reaction. What fucking need I remind you?
Melissa with the mouth, man. She's like, I asked her like a really nice question. She's like, effing this and that. I will stab him. It's like, Jesus.
What do you want me to say? Like, I would be like, what marriage? What marriage? Be honest with me.
Oh boy.
But it was like, look, I really like you, Melissa. And I just want you to I want us to respect each other. And I have respect for you. And I just want you to respect the fact that I'm not going to have sex with you until after we're married. Would you tell your husband?
What marriage? The one we had 3 months ago, or which one?
Obviously, I'm talking about past tense.
You said husband. No,
We're
I
going-
mean, if we
we're
had
going back in
already,
time.
if we had already
Yeah.
had sex after he told, like, before he told me that, I would be like, really? Like, be serious with me, really? Really?
Okay, but
Like,
what
are
if it
you
was
being that
before?
serious?
What if it was before? What if it was like, hey, you will give me oral, but I will not return the favor because
I
your
know.
your
No,
passions
no,
will
no,
be
no,
so
no,
set
no,
on
no,
fire.
No, men who are that way, I do have to say, they're really so insecure, so freaking insecure.
Who's insecure?
Men who are like, oh, you'll give it to me, but I don't give it to you because that's disgusting. Oh my God, no.
Though, why does that make a man insecure?
Omar, there should be, I don't know. No voy a hablar de eso. I'm not going to talk about that. No. I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh,
I
boy.
can't.
I can't explore what you just said. A man that doesn't want to go down on a woman is insecure. How does that track?
No, but
Okay,
he's
no.
demanding blowjobs, but he's not going
Exactly.
down on
That's
the
what I
lady.
mean.
It's
Oh,
a double
but that-
standard.
Is that insecurity or something else?
Well, it's at
That's
least
like
a
you
double
said, that's a
standard.
double standard. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, so you do it, but I can't do it because it's disgusting. It's like, what on earth?
Well, it's what she did to him.
Exactly. And it's not, that's why I said, like, that's really fucked up. It's not okay.
Look, it's okay if you want to say like save yourself for marriage, but then you have like all these weird, seemingly random rules about it. Like, come on, man. I think the gist of the story is the guy is not the asshole for wanting to break up for this young lady. It's
No,
probably
he's
not
not.
a match made in heaven.
Yeah. And he dodged a bullet. Maybe she can find somebody that actually believes what she believes, and he'll find somebody better.
He's only
aligned to him.
27. Hey, Pam said no F-bombs. So how about that?
No.
Pam has been
Where's
trying to
Joss?
crack down on F-bomb. Oh,
Where's
she
Joss?
she had to leave at 1.
I would love for her intake on the F-bombs.
Well, she doesn't really say F-bombs. That was
No, but you do.
Like, I do. Have I said F-bomb on the show so far today?
Not that I know of. No.
You're being really polite today?
He has.
I've been self-censoring. I don't say the F word. I say F. So it is what it is, man. Anyway, folks, we've been going for almost a couple hours now on Family Law After Dark.
Almost 2.
Yeah, but it was abbreviated because we had an internet outage, and then Bruce and Brad were talking amongst themselves about one of our hypotheticals. It was an interesting show, but that's all we got for you today. We're gonna have to cut this out. We really got to get MG Law on one of these streams, man, for a Flad. That would be
That would be super fun.
Yeah, I don't even think that MG Law does family law, but I feel like he would have a lot to say. Just watching some of his shows, man, I feel like he would have a lot to say and offer. Along with Lauren Knighty. Oh, and Megan Fox wanted to come on again. Whenever Megan Fox comes on to Family Law After Dark, I feel like my mom is in the stream. Like I feel
When
like I
are
gotta
you
watch what I
bringing your
say.
mom? She wants to come in. I would love to be in a section with her.
Oh, that's so weird. Like, would you watch?
You
It's
brought
like
your
watching.
dad. You brought Chris. You brought your sister. Give her a chance.
Hey, have you ever watched the movie? That movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. What's it called? It was like there was like a weird sex cult thing going on. What's it? Help me out, Bruce.
I know what you're talking. I know what
Eyes
you're
Wide
talking
Shut.
about.
Eyes Wide Shut. You know that movie?
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Would you want to watch that movie with your mom?
I have never watched it, so I don't know.
Okay.
I agree with Omar.
Would you want to watch a porno with your mom?
Of course
Let me
not. I wouldn't
rephrase.
wanna watch it with anybody.
No.
Yeah,
I've
I
had.
mean, we just got done covering a case where the guy was unloading on the girl's stomach. I mean,
We did.
it's a little sensitive.
I'd rather not talk about that with my mom, you know? I don't give a shit talking about with my dad, but that's hey, Una, thank you so much for gifting 5 Tilted Lawyer memberships to
yeah.
the unsuspecting public. Much appreciated. By the way, Melissa's new employer has a podcast. I've never watched it, but I know that she has one. What do you think about your employer's podcast? Do you like
She's
it? Do you
actually
like it?
recording it right now. She has her own little section here where she records it. She has 2 guests today. I don't know who they are, but she has 2 guests today.
Yeah. Maybe you should get us together so that me and her can compare notes on you. Like, hey, so what do you think about Melissa? Like, what do you think about that?
Omar,
you know?
she has only been with me for like 2
Oh,
weeks, and she's
no.
not like she hasn't interacted with me that much. Not as you.
I
Never
got
as a
all the
person
goods
like
on
as
Melissa,
you.
man.
It's Ghostbuster rules. Never cross the streams.
Yeah, you can't cross the streams. Melissa was with me for like 5 years.
5
before.
years. Actually, yeah. I did get to the 5 years.
Yeah, you made it. I did your last paycheck, and I was like, wow, it's almost exactly 5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's how time flies, man. How time flies and how we age. What are you
5
gonna
years,
do?
2 offices. Wow.
2 different
lot of
offices.
pieces.
Remember in that shoebox?
Stop
What
it.
is Robert talking? Bruce, it was the lady's name who was all about bitching and moaning about killer Karen Wren
Karen
or
Wren.
something. I think she and Omar need to have a talk off. Hey, Robert, what are you talking about, man?
What is
Yeah, I
that?
have no idea. what-
Karen Reed?
Oh, Karen, is that what he meant to say?
Probably.
Karen Reed?
Yeah, probably.
Must be. Karen Wren doesn't make. Karen Reed.
I don't know
make
who was
sense.
complaining about that case.
I don't know. I don't
I'm
know,
trying to
man.
convince Omar to talk about the Menendez brothers case. So people, if you really like it, drop it in the comments.
Mm.
Who wants to hear about that case, though, man? I feel like that case has been like covered to death.
There's
Since
some
the
new
90s.
episode on Netflix
Yeah,
about
they
it.
are actually, they're having like another hearing or a trial in November, end of
Maybe I'll
November.
do it, but trial's about to start for Sarah Boone. I'm going to be busy with that for a little bit. Maybe I'll do something on it. Maybe. It just depends on what people want to see. Karen Reed isn't a killer, though. Exactly. Karen Reed should have been exonerated, but for some shenanigans that happened with a mistrial.
Oh, Rob was
covered
probably
that.
talking about Critical K. I don't know if you've ever seen her. She came on a stream about
Oh, is she the one that
she came on
like
a
flamed
stream
out?
about the Clayton case and was very angry that Clayton was so willing to just have a blowjob on the first date. She was very angry.
Oh my gosh.
Is that
It was interesting.
how was that Clayton's fault?
I don't know. I mean, she was just sort of, saying that everything Clayton did was a bad move. She
When he was
didn't
leading
really
her on or
agree
something?
with Laura Owens on any points or anything. Like she wasn't a supporter. She just seemed to want to argue about
Yeah, it's
moral
Critical
issues.
K.
Yeah, she just wanted to moral issue argue.
Well, it looks
And
like nobody likes
it was
Critical
tough.
K.
It was a tough time. It was a tough time.
I think I caught it. I think I know what you're talking about. Is that the one where like that lady flamed out and just like rage quit in the middle of a live stream?
She did, yeah, because Brad was there and Big Johnson was there.
Oh, she would not have liked what I would have had to say to her.
No,
It would not have worked out.
it
Stay
was
far
it
away
was an
from
interesting
Critical
time.
K.
I would have Critical K on for a debate. Why not? What, you got something to say? Let's have her on for a flad. Let her hear my opinions on the dating landscape in your 40s. I don't know why that would be like salacious bit of a topic, but I don't know. I'm always curious to talk to people like that. Like what is making them so angry about stuff? All right, folks. That's all we got for today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I got to get ready for Game 5. Me and Dominic, we are invested in Game 5 tonight. It's in a couple of hours. I got to get the hell out of here. I actually got to do payroll and then get the hell out of here. So, hey, Bruce, I love you, man. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do this again
Anytime.
next week. You're obviously like been grandfathered into Flad for whenever you want to come on or not come
Awesome.
on. Yeah,
Very cool.
Melissa too, because she's been with me for 5 years. Only fair. With that, yeah, go. Oh, look at that, a Padres fan.
I saw
What is
that.
that shit?
Well, Padres fan?
Hey, somebody
Wait.
gift Rachel a membership. How about that? And then the next show I'm going to do is my live coverage of the Dodgers celebration in the locker room after our Game 5 victory. Hey, love you, Rachel. Good luck to you. Good luck to my team. We'll see how it plays out. Oh, she says,
geez.
not a Padre fan, Giants fan.
It's everybody against LA. That's
What
what
a
they always
dick.
say.
Like, what is that
Everybody
about?
against LA.
Fine. Well, the Giants have suffered enough, I guess. You know, they just fired Farhan.
Hmm.
You saw that?
Yeah, they got Buster Posey now.
Yeah, I know. Jesus, good luck with that. Thanks, Jen.
There's a
Hey,
Colombian playing in the Padres. He was part of the little team over there. He's actually from my town.
Colombian? Who's the Colombian on the Padres? I don't know.
For the Padres, yeah.
I'm not a Colombian. I'm not that invested in Colombians.
I found
just don't know
out
that off the top
because-
of my head.
I found out because my brother, he used to be into baseball, and he actually trained with him. And then after that, I started seeing the pictures on Instagram, and he was like trying to encourage people to go like and cheer for him.
Did you want me to write him a letter and just say that you were inquiring, or what? Like, what was the point of this inquiry?
God.
Melissa misses me. What could I say?
Oh my God, yeah, I do. I actually do. It was really fun working together. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, I was telling Jocelyn, I bet Melissa hates it over there. It's all structured
I mean, I
and
don't
stuff.
hate. I won't say hate it up to this
It's an
point,
adjustment, I
but
bet.
it's exactly. It's just
Mhm.
different.
Working with me is one thing.
Mhm.
Working over there is quite another.
It's different, exactly.
All right, folks. I love you all,
Okay.
man. I will, hey, Melissa, you be safe out there. Drive home safe. Bruce, you too. You guys have a good weekend. And we will see
Thanks,
you
man.
guys
Yes.
next
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.